Hey, Sean, welcome to an evening post. Thank you for clicking on this. This is as late as I've done it. It is 7:27, and I need to post this in 33 minutes, and I still need to edit it and compress it and make a thumbnail. So let's go. I made this book. I printed this book last year, I think sometime over the summer, and I'm really happy that I did, and this whole video is to convince you to do the same. Because if you're a photographer or not, any of us anymore have so many photos. We're taking photos with our phone. If you're a parent, you have an unimaginable number of photos than you probably ever thought you would take, especially growing up where we didn't get to take 45 photos a day and think nothing of it. And now with almost unlimited storage anywhere, there's so many photos. And if you're anything like me, you look through them a lot. And I see most of my photos. And I have in my library 44,728 photos, in addition to 4,300 videos. That's a lot. And I've seen them all a lot of times. I scroll through my library. I'm always looking for stuff for old videos. And sometimes just for nostalgic purposes, I like to scroll through my photos. And they're all on my phone in the same way. But I can't fit 44,000 photos in a book. And there's something cool about the process of going through your work and picking some highlights and putting them together in a way that is permanent. And you can't swap them out later and update your online portfolio or delete something from your Instagram or something. These become such a cool snapshot of your life where you're choosing what to put in these things. And like we used to have photo albums growing up. For me anyway, I would put all my photos. I would take 24 photos or however many fit on the roll, 36. And then I would put all of them in the photo album. And that's sort of similar, but then every once in a while you'd clear out old photo albums and you'd pick a few photos from these trips to put in like the final album, the big album. And then when you go through that, it's this cool look at what mattered to you, not only at the time to take a photo of, but in hindsight, what you really wanted to keep as that photographic memory. And so I made this book, and in here are photos of some drone shots that I've done of St. Louis. I think that's the big opening spread. Yeah, and then as it goes on, there's photos of Jesse and I. There's photos of some of my favorite bird photos I've taken. These are some photos that were sort of tricky photos that were fun to make. I've done portraits of people in different places. And so it's just a way to look back, not only on my own photography, but on what elements I want to keep. Not that they're my best photos. These are absolutely not my best photos that I've ever taken. But this is a page full of selfies that I've taken over the years, or photos of me anyway. And I really like this one of me. This is the last hotel that I stayed in before my son was born. This is in June of last year. I went to Chicago, or June of 2019. I went to Chicago, and they gave me 2 robes in my hotel room, and it was just me. So I wore both robes and set up my camera and took a photo. And that's something where, no, it's not an amazing photo. It's funny, it's fun, and it's a memory. And with these types of things, no one can come over right now. We're not having house parties because it's a pandemic, obviously. But there's going to be a time when we can let people into our homes again. And things like this are so cool to have around, where someone can pick it up and they can see what mattered to you, not only to capture at the time, but to hang on to and to memorialize in a physical book, in an album. And it just tells such a cool story. And so I really like my book, and I look through, even though I look through all my photos all the time, I like looking at this book and seeing the physical prints of some of the photos that I've taken. And it makes me proud. And it shows me where I've been, and it's just a cool thing to have forever, and for my son to look at as he gets older and to start to understand where I've been and what mattered to me and what captured my eye. But it's also a cool way to not only share that with others, but to recognize it yourself sometimes and remind yourself of where you've been and what you've done. And so hopefully I will do these with some regularity. This was my first one, so I went back. These were all photos that I took with my Sony camera, like my good camera. There's no phone photos in here. It's either drone photos or photos with my professional cameras. But as I go into the future and I do more of these, maybe every year or every few years, I'm excited to include stuff from beyond just what my good camera took, because I've gone a lot of places without it. And I think that some of the things I've seen would be things that I would want to put into a book to have forever and to pass along and to have sit on a coffee table just waiting to be picked up for somebody to look through and maybe think about what they want to make and where they've been. So make something. Put your stuff in a physical form somehow, and I think you'll be happy that you did, and your family will be happy that you did as well. That's all I got. Thank you so much for watching this. Mask on, chin up. See you tomorrow.